Hello, and welcome to the Coffee with Christine and Goose show. Hello, and welcome to the Coffee with Christine and Goose show. I'm your host, Christine DeGennaro, and this is my pet duck named Goose. And together, we're your mental health mentors, and we are here to help inspire you to live every day with passion. Let's get started on your weekly dose of love and caffeination. To the Coffee with Christine and Goose show. I am your host, Christine DeGennaro. If you're watching on YouTube, you get to see Goose's butt. Goose is here. He is a 3-year-old male Peking duck who is an indoor house duck, and he is a spoiled, rotten duckin'. So what is this podcast? What is it all about? We are mental health mentors, and we are here to inspire you to live the best version of your life. And what we do on a daily basis is try to come up with ideas and tips and tricks to help you guys overcome your mental anxieties, depression, and just overall show you how living like a duck can help you with your mental health so you can actually start living your life with passion. So we're here to inspire you. We're here to make you laugh. We're here to make you giggle. And we're here just to help you enjoy life just a little bit more. So if you are new, we talk about anything and everything under the sun. We're going to dive on into some pretty hefty topics today, including the whole chicken gate thing. And, some of it's duck related, some of it's mental health related, some of it's woo, some of it's, we cover everything. I am all about putting out information and allowing you guys to make the choices that work best for you. So what we do is we try to provide you with things and information that have helped us throughout the course of our lives and our journey. And maybe, just maybe, it might be something that you find interesting, something that sticks, something that helps. So that's what we're here to do. So I always like to start off our podcast with a tarot card pull of the day. And all this is just a different perspective, way to view whatever it is we're going to be talking about today. So today's perspective to be generosity. It is the Six of Pentacles, so perseverance, material things. Six of Pentacles represents wealth. It represents material things. So generosity, perseverance, material. What can you do to be generous to others today? So for us, giving you what we know and sharing what we know is the way that we share and we can be generous with everyone in our circle, is sharing our knowledge, sharing our insights, and maybe having really great conversations with you guys. So go ahead and introduce ourselves. I'm Christine DeGennaro. I am an author, motivational speaker, Navy veteran, and I have been through a crazy roundabout journey to becoming a mental health mentor. And it has been quite a journey. But one of the things that I do want you guys to know is that very firmly believe that we are all connected to a source energy. We all embody this one power. And whether it's God, whether it's Allah, whatever it is to you, I just want you to feel a connection because I feel a connection to you. So as we dive into today, everything that I'm saying is going to be said with love. It's going to be said with compassion and a desire to just understand things a little bit better. And, no one has all the answers. The answers that I do have might help you. If they don't, leave the table, move on, open to different ideas, different suggestions. So if you guys have any input, please drop it in the comments. Make sure you're liking, loving, sharing all the content that you find here, because even if it doesn't help you, it might help someone in your circle. And that's the important thing. Okay. So I'm Christine. You guys, if you are watching on the YouTube channel, unfortunately, Goose is being a little antisocial today. So he's hanging out with Miss Luna in my kitchen. I do have the video camera on them. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, you get to see their cute little butts live. I hope he does, because that always just makes it a little bit more fun having him on the podcast. But Goose is a 3-year-old Peking duck. For those of you who don't know ducks very well, Peking ducks are the breed that they use for meat. If you go to the Chinese food store, you'll find duck on the menu. And if duck is on the menu, goose is the kind of bird that they use on the menu. Lucky for him, he's too cute to eat, and we never would. And he is a fighter. He's a scrapper, but he's also the biggest lover that I've ever met. He fought for his life when he was a little skittle, and when he was 4 months old, we lost his mate Maverick. Goose is named after the characters in Top Gun, Goose and Maverick. So that's why we have a duck named Goose. He's named after Goose on Top Gun, and he fought for his life and been riding an indoor duck for the last 2.5, almost 3 years. Best thing to ever happen. He is very much like it's like having a dog in the house, and very personable, very friendly. Do we encourage you guys to have house ducks? Not necessarily so, but different people have different situations. For us, it made sense at the time. Ducks belong outside. If you're going to get a duck, do your research. This is a 3-year-old Peking. He's named after Goose on Top Gun. And he is a fox attacker from when he was 4 months old. He is handicapped because of that attack and is an indoor duck. So everything that we've learned about ducks, we've learned on the fly. And highly recommend, if you are going to get any kind of pet, to make sure that you do your research on it. Make sure you know what you're getting into. But there's information. There are so many groups. There are so many insightful people who are happy to share their knowledge. I'm happy to share with you all our experiences. So Goose is my mental health mentor companion. He and I have put together a boot camp to help people start implementing self-care tactics in their lives a little bit better in ways that are realistic and functional. So he run a boot camp that we kicked off today. So I'm really excited about that. But self-care like a duck, man. We go, hi, how are you? Hi, LaDonna. So LaDonna is visiting us on our TikTok page. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, you can also watch us on TikTok. We're on Facebook. We're all over the place. We're broadcasting live on Real to Rock. What we're doing today, we'll do a quick rundown of some of the topics that we are going to dive in today. Normally, we run for about 2 hours. Yes, today. So we didn't have any guests come on for last week. We had a lot of scheduling issues happen. So we're going to do what we can to fill the 2 hours. So if you guys are on TikTok or you have any questions on either one of our Facebook pages, make sure you guys are leaving them. I would love to say hi and see and try to get everything my brother is inspired to get whenever I shared your lifestyle. Oh, thank you so much. So yeah, you guys are absolutely wonderful. I'm glad to have you here. You know, ducks are something. And if I think I know who that is, I think that's Jana, right? So as I said, ducks are it's like having a dog. It is entirely like having a dog. You have to clean up after its mess. You have to, and Goose will come when I great. It's wonderful. But so what we're going to do, I'm going to do everything I can to interact with you guys, answer your questions. As I said, normally I have a special guest where we go through and have an interview. I didn't have an opportunity to interview anyone. So as you guys have questions, come on TikTok and on YouTube and Facebook. Tips for meeting new people. Ooh, that's a really good one, LaDonna. So yeah, we'll tackle that in just a few minutes. That's like good duck. That's our first topic for the day, and that's self-care. So yeah, we'll definitely tackle that. So let's go ahead. So some of the topics we're going to talk about. So we're going to talk about self-care like a duck. So we'll talk about all kinds of wonderful self-care techniques and little tips and tricks that you guys can incorporate into your daily life. The next topic is we're going to dive into the chicken gate food feeding. Love to hear what you guys think on that and what takes you guys have on that, because it is we're getting all kinds of sides and not sure what to believe. So I like to try to gather as much information as we can. And you guys can decide for yourselves. You guys are capable of doing that. But we are going to talk about it and what food is important to ducks and chickens and why it is. We're going to go into that. We're going to talk about how food incorporates into our own self-care. So we're going to combine it all and make it work into our own self-care. And we are going to focus on spreading kindness on social media. There's a really cool thing that I've noticed has been happening. There's a good thing and there's a bad thing. So we're going to cover that. And then we've got some upcoming adventures that we're going to share. We've got a lot of really great things to cover today. So I'm really excited about this. So if you're watching on YouTube, Goose is in the kitchen with Luna. They're being a little anti today. So they're just kind of hanging out and doing their own thing. If you're watching on the YouTube, you get to see their little butts by their food. They're not doing anything exciting or special. So we're just going to roll on. So self-care like a duck. So LaDonna, you asked a really great question about meeting new people in real life. So I think a lot of that is going to depend on whether you are an introvert or an extrovert. So if you identify, I personally identify ironically as an introvert. Goose is chilling today. Yes, he is. Very much so. So I identify very much as an introvert. I am happy in my own company. I am entirely confident in, like, I will find and make up things to do. Whereas other people feel they need to interact with people. So, okay. So because you are very similar, putting your in where you're going out and interacting with people in real life is daunting. We'll be honest. It's daunting because that's not organically who you are. And there's nothing wrong with that. That just means that what has to happen is you have to find a way to challenge yourself a little bit to just get out of your normal routine. And what that can look like is going to one extra store that you normally wouldn't walk into. So say you have to go grocery shopping today and normally you go to Walmart, wherever you get your food from. And what if there's any other place is close to a place that you normally don't go to? So maybe go into Target instead of Walmart, or go into a thrift store if you don't normally just go and wander and just walk around. Get yourself uncomfortable in a public situation and then just kind of build there. I've found a lot of success when I just go and make it a point. You know what? I'm going to go one more place today. Let me just follow an impulse. I'm going to stop here today and I'm going to talk to one person. And all it does is it gets you out of your comfort zone and it allows you to reach a small and achievable goal. And then you just kind of go off of that. If, even if you just say, hey, the weather's really nice, or dude, it's been really cold, and you just start up some minor chit chat with anyone, just anyone. It could be a 5-year-old kid. It could be, it could be the love of your life. You never know. You know what I mean? So taking initiative and just being yourself and friendly, but push yourself to get out of that introverted comfort zone and just, pressure. There's no pressure whatsoever. Do what it is that you're comfortable with, but just do one small thing like that a day. Just go one more place than you normally would. Speak to one more person than you normally would, and start there and see how it goes. What do we think? Definitely try this. Okay, absolutely. And it's just when you start implementing changes, I know personally, I've always had a tendency to dive in and just go all in. And I get overwhelmed and then I don't do the thing anymore. So when you start small by like making small, almost ridiculous sounding goals, like, oh, well, yeah, I can do that. One of the girls that I'm going to be having on here, she's a fitness coach and she is phenomenal. She said that one of the best ways that she's found with her fitness clients is she would find people were like, oh, I'm going to start off and I'm going to drink a gallon a day. She's like, can you do one more cup a day and sustain that week? So when you break it down into like something almost like, oh yeah, I can totally do that. I can do that daily. And then you build on that. That is where the success comes from, is building on your previous successes. So push yourself just a little bit further outside your comfort zone, challenge it a little bit, and just grow from there. There's going to be some days where you're like, yeah, yesterday didn't go well at all. I'm going to hide for a week, and that's okay. Shorten that to a couple days. All right. So, recently, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I am a complete and total MMA junkie. I love UFC. The PFL just came out, all this kind of stuff. And I've been listening to my podcast, Believe You Me. And it's great. I love it because I love the insight and the scoop. And actually, I was initially watching it for research on how to improve this broadcast and see what he was having success in and what he was doing well, and how I could do something similar. And the more I watched it, the more I was like, this guy is funny as all get out. But he had a fighter come on who said that the one thing that they have taken away from all their training is that every single day they are pushing themselves to the breaking point where they feel like they can't go further, and then they do. And then they do it again today. And what is happening by pushing yourself each day to just at or just beyond normal comfort level, your breaking point, you're flexing that muscle, you're strengthening that muscle, whether it's your physical body or your social skills, and you're building and you're strengthening it every single day and making it easier for yourself in the long run to make a thing that was difficult a month ago easier today. Does that make sense? Let me know. So that is one of the best things that I've heard recently that I'm really happy to share with you guys. I thought that was very profound. Self-care is a journey, and sometimes with energy, we have to listen to who we are, but we also have to be comfortable with pushing ourselves. Jordan B. Peterson, he's a controversial subject matter, but I love the way he explains things. We are so comfortable with mediocrity. It comes and goes in waves. You get comfortable where you are, that you don't push yourself even further. And it is something that is it's easy to do. And especially if you don't have a strong social circle that is encouraging you to do so. I'm very fortunate that my boyfriend, my partner, I call him my husband. We call each other everything. We're very fortunate that we are there to kind of push and like call it, because we can say, hey, you're stuck. You're stuck. Physically, you're kind of doing you need to be able to build a circle like that. Now, at the same time, you also have to understand that the energy that comes across has to be shared. So it's like, don't tell me while I'm down that I'm not doing enough, because dude, that's just going to be waterworks. Like, I don't need to hear what I'm doing is not enough. But push me and say, I noticed that you're struggling. What is something that you can do? Or even better, find someone who's going to say, what can we do together to make this happen? Find it in a partner, find it in a friend, find it in an engagement circle. Okay. One of the best things that I've ever done, I joined Money Mindset Boot Camp, and been doing it the way I feel and handle money, because money is energy, right? And one of the program is group community that it has. You can sit there and you can bounce many questions off of women who are multi-million dollar business women, or you can talk to the girl who just lost her house, and we sit there and we encourage each other and we give everyone's insight and information. Absolutely, LaDonna. So find and build a community of people who support you, people who you want to be, people who can help you get to where you want to be, but also who you can share your journey with as well. So trusting the journey is the most number one thing that you can do, is just trust and know that everything is going to work out the way that it's due. And one of the things that this is one of the topics that we talk about in boot camp is trusting the flock leader, whoever that looks like to you, her flock leader. Do you know what is holding your life together? What life force energy is doing that? And when talking about, I don't know who that is. So what we're doing is we're rolling through some topics on the podcast today. And if you're new and you're watching, I really appreciate you guys being here. So if you guys are watching us on TikTok, feel free to drop questions. If you're watching on Facebook and YouTube, to any questions or anything like that. So I definitely want guys, just to know if I can get to them during the podcast, I will. If I can't, I will do my best to respond to you guys outside once the podcast is over. But we're doing live questions over on our TikTok page. So self-care like a duck. Water rolling off your back. Right? Yeah, you guys have heard, there's been a lot of negativity here on TikTok, on YouTube, where you get the people who are just dropping mean and nasty comments just to join in essence, right? So what we need to do, especially for our mental health, this is the super important thing. For our mental health, we have to learn what comments, what triggers, what things we can allow roll ourselves, and what things we're going to take with us, what things we're going to learn from, what things we're going to address. We're going to get into this even further later on in the podcast when we talk about kindness on social media. But it's very important for us to know that what other people think of us, what other people say about us, what other people, it hurts. And I've noticed that the hardest comments to let go of are the negative ones. You hear how good you are, you hear how wonderful you are, you hear how inspiring you are, but you also hear how dumb you are, you hear how inaccurate you are, how offensive you are, how, and you hear all these things about yourself, and you're like, but that's not true. That's not true, right? It's true. It's not true. People are allowed to have their own opinions, and unfortunately, a lot of people share the ones that they should probably keep to themselves. We have to be ready and willing to just kind of let it go. As content creators, it's hard. As people who follow social media, I definitely recommend that if you don't have anything nice to say, just scroll past. If you don't like what they have to say, block them, or as an opportunity to learn something from a different perspective. That's how I'd approach it. I don't think I agree with that. Well, why don't I agree with that? And dive deeper into that, because there's a lot of meaning to do it. All right. So when it comes to dealing with people, dealing with life, dealing with everything, it's to roll off your back. All right. One of the things that I've learned about living like a duck is they do a lot of paddling underneath the water, but they make it look so smooth that you wouldn't know that their little feeties are going. They're little cheese feet. They got a little cheese, right? So what we do is do your best to keep it cool, calm, and collected. on top and just keep pushing underneath. I think one of the biggest struggles is that, especially as introverts, we have a tendency to allow ourselves to get overwhelmed, and we're sitting there kind of like, I don't know what's going on. And we stop all motion. We stop moving forward. We stop moving. And for you to continue to press forward is keep the feet going. So even if it doesn't look like you're doing anything on top, if you're doing internal work, that counts. That counts a lot. The internal work is going to be the stuff that gets you to where you want to be. You know how I know? That's what I do. That's what I do. And it helps. Having faith, having a bigger purpose, being able to be generous with knowledge and my insight and the things that I do have to offer, that's fulfilling. What do you find fulfilling? What do you find as your life force? If you don't have a purpose, then we're going to need to talk, because everyone should have a purpose. Everyone should feel like they have a purpose, right? So that's where my little thing of living with passion comes in. When you find your purpose, you find your passion. When you find passion, you find the meaning of life. And I want you guys to be able to find that meaning of life. Okay. So self-care looks like staying calm underneath. Allow yourself to stay together. Allow yourself to fall apart, but keep moving forward. So the whole reason, go into this a little bit more too, is why Goose and I do what we do. I was raised by an amazing man, and my mom is absolutely amazing as well. And we lost my dad 11 years ago. It was going on like almost 12 years now. And I was there when we lost him. I was there with my mom. And it was something that drove me. It gave me an understanding that life is fleeting. Life has to have purpose. You have to have love. You have to have understanding. You have to have compassion, because life is so short. And when you are filled with rage and hate, that's nothing to share with the world. That's nothing good to share with the world. And each one of us has so much value, so much worth, so much insight, so much learning and education that we can share to other people. And our journeys are all different. People have incredibly hard journeys. Some of the stories of the that I work with are heartbreaking. They are heartbreaking. And I don't know how they manage to do it, but they do. I've had my own struggles. We all have our own struggles, but the ones that these women have gone through are almost minuscule compared to the ones that I've gone through. However, that doesn't minimize what I've been through. It doesn't minimize what you've been through. It doesn't minimize what you've been through. We have all been through our own unique journey, and we all have something to teach each other, and we all have something to share with each other. And I encourage you to find yourself through self-care. Especially feeling lost, especially if you're feeling like there is not enough momentum going on, you feel stuck, you feel alone. Like LaDonna was asking earlier, how do you move forward? How do you meet people? How do you get out of this stuckness? And it's one step at a time. It's one small step. It's one small decision to move forward. And that's how you move forward, is one small decision and one small step at a time. And you build on the momentum, because otherwise you're going to jump off that cliff and now you don't have a parachute, right? Whereas if you took it step by step by step, you would have seen that that ledge was coming and maybe made a different decision, right? So, what we're going to do over the next hours is we're going to talk about things that are important, not only for our animals, because we're going to be talking about the animals and the chickens, but what we're also going to do is try to tie in our mission with self-care into all this, because in every component we're talking about today, self-care is involved, and self-care is crucial, and self-care is the core of what makes our life so meaningful. Okay, so our mission is to inspire you and hopefully get you guys feeling a little bit better about everything that's going on. So let's go ahead. I am going to top off on my coffee. If you guys want to give me just a 30-second, my commercials again. Okay, that's okay. All right, so we're going to make this work. So the next segment of the podcast, we're going to be talking about Chicken Gate. So for those of you who don't know about this, if you guys are new or aren't part of the animal world, aren't part of the chicken and poultry, anything, there have been a lot of issues apparently with chicken food. We've had a substantial amount of people who have backyard chickens who are struggling with egg production. And there's been some research, as I said, to promote you doing research. I'm here for you to come to your own conclusions. I'm here. I know what I believe. I'll share with you what I know. I'll get your ideas, your thoughts, your feedback. I'm open to discussion. So I'm going to present a couple different angles of what is happening because this is what I've heard. But again, I would love for you guys to share your insight and on what has been transpiring with this whole chicken feed from Tractor Supply Purina thing. So a lot of people are coming out and saying that there are no issues with the feed and that a lot of it is based on the science and productivity of the chickens during winter. And I know for sure that there's a ton of truth behind that. Like there's science proving this situation. However, there are a ton of people who raise backyard chickens who've been doing it for their entire lives who have noticed that since September, their hens that usually lay eggs have stopped laying. And a majority of them have, sorry about that, a majority of them have recognized it as an issue with the food. So the problem has become that there's two sides of the fence. There's the scientific side that's saying there is no controversy, there's nothing wrong with the feed, and that everything is fine. There's nothing wrong. You guys are insane. And then there are very reputable people who are saying, I've been doing this for 30 years and I've never had this happen. So when I switched the food, which was the only thing that changed, all of a sudden my chickens are starting to lay eggs again after taking almost 6 months off. So there are definitive scientific reasons why chickens stop laying eggs in the winter. One is sunlight is crucial to their egg production. It allows them to have all the vitamins and the nutrients. And when the sun goes down early, it allows the chicken to take a break, essentially. It gives their body time to decompress from the constant production of eggs. If you have egg, depending, different breed eggs at different rates. So what happens is we'll give you one egg every day. There are some that give you an egg every other day. There are some that give you fewer and further in between. But essentially what happens twice a year, chickens will molt, which means their feathers come out and they regrow new feathers, usually in the springtime. After the winter, they're regrowing some new feathers, and then usually right before winter starts, so that way they get in their new winter fluff. So I could be wrong. I'd be open to hearing more about this from more advanced chicken experts, because I've only been around chickens for like the last couple years. So I'm always excited to talk to people who know what's going on. But so the scientific reason for chickens not laying eggs during this time, they're using all the vitamins and nutrients that they're getting from their food, and they're harvesting and they're free ranging. When they free range, they eat bugs, they eat grass, they eat all kinds of stuff. And what happens is they're using those nutrients to grow back, offer them physical protection from the sun, from the winter. So their bodies are using the nutrients that they would normally use for egg production to care for their feathers, to grow feathers. So oftentimes chickens and ducks will stop laying eggs during a molting season. So that's usually about a month or two it takes for the feathers to come out and grow back in. So then during the winter season, egg production will slow down because they need sunlight. It adjusts their internal clock, but there's also vitamin D nutrients that they get from the sun that allows them to make eggs. So a lot earlier, they don't have that vitamins, or they don't have those vitamins, so they don't have what they need to make the eggs, so their body stops laying the eggs. And egg production becomes fewer and further between. Sometimes they stop completely, especially in the middle of winter. It happens, using that energy to keep their body warm. Totally understandable. However, the major problem that people have noticed is around August, September, October, their chickens stop laying, ours included. So my partner has 5 chickens over at his house. I've got the 8 ducks. We have 2 females that lay. He's got 5 female hens that lay eggs. And I want to say it was the end of August, beginning of September, all of them stopped. Like not one egg between October and now, about a week or 2 ago. He switched the food because of everything that we were hearing. 5 eggs. So our personal experience, when we knew to try, showed results immediately. So in our personal experience, we can definitely see how people would come to the conclusion that the food is the issue. So some of the things that we've heard people who are saying, no, it's not the food. It's just the fact that chickens stop laying eggs. After a certain age, chicken egg production slows down. Totally in that. We get that. We understand that. But for them to just go nonstop when not all of our chickens are the same age was suspicious. We have chickens who we have 2 over a year older, so they're 3. So we would expect those guys to slow down a little bit in egg production. But we have 3 who are a year younger, so they're only 2 that all of a sudden stop laying, and that was a little weird. So we ended up going, and he ended up making homemade yogurt because he's a scientist, so he likes to play with stuff, and made homemade yogurt with protein and all kinds of really yummy, delicious fruits and veggies and all kinds of stuff inside. The very next day, we got 5 eggs from all of our girls, and they have not stopped since. He's been giving them yogurt almost every single day. He changed the chicken food to Kalmbach. I think we went to Kalmbach. So Kalmbach food. Haven't looked back. and we haven't had any issues. Normally we would get the Demore. I usually get the Purina All Flock. We have noticed with the Demore and we've been getting soft eggs from our girls, from our two, from Luna and Molly. We've gotten a lot of soft eggs from them, which means they're not getting the nutrients that they need. So we have to supplement. So we've got all kinds of stuff going on, personal experiences that have indicated that the food is the issue. Getting to be so upsetting is that the only news sources that seem to be picking up on this are the conservative ones. So it's one of the girls here on TikTok did just a cursory, like she started digging, because in all honesty, this is coming from my own personal experience and understanding as a former military police. I worked with investigations for a little bit. There are the reasons why people do anything: love, money, or drugs. So I don't think Purina is going to do either love or drugs. So those three motives, if you can look at them in any of those three lights and apply a motive to why something would occur, if you look at the financial records, which they actually have available, there's a potential linkage to all that. So I'm just throwing that out there. There are three reasons why people do things: love, drugs, or money. So if you follow the money, where does it go? I'm just, I'd be very happy to see if you guys take that and run and go and look. I would love to know what you guys come up with, because I know what I've come up with, and I'm not going to put it out there for TikTok to blast me on, but I encourage you guys to do your research based on following the money. Okay? Because that's how you come to your own conclusions. Follow the crumbs. There are always crumbs. And if you look at it from those motives, it's just a curious perspective. So Chicken Gate is important because what is happening is it's showing the clear divide of the mindset. Instead of seeking to understand someone's personal experience, they're seeking to completely, for us to have a really good open conversation about a lot of the stuff that's going on. So show us facts, show us that nothing's changed, show us that, everything that we're finding is just coincidental. I'm okay with that. You guys can show me that. I'd be very happy to see. But what we have to do is we have to be wise enough to know how to do our own research on what we know, what we want to know, and how we move forward with it. I see in my YouTube channel, my duckins are moving. I'm going to change the view here so you guys can see. And if you guys are here on Reel to Reel Broadcasting, and if you are on TikTok and you're on Facebook, you guys, yeah. Sorry, taking a quick sip. So, Chicken Gate, is it really that big of a deal? Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, because what is happening is our country is being divided. Our political system, whatever you guys want to call it. This is not a political show. I'm not going to tell you what side I'm on, what side you should be on. I don't care. Like, none of that is important. What is important is that you know and understand where you get your information on, or where you get your information from, is vital. If you don't like the feeling of what you're watching, turn it off and do your own research. Don't trust everything that everyone's telling you. Do your research and find what feels best for you in any circumstance, whether it's with your self-care, whether it's with your political beliefs, whether it's your medical health. You have to make the choices that are best for you. Do your research, feel comfortable with your research, feel like educated decision on anything. Okay. My biggest piece of advice to you for today. So here's the deal. Let me just recap Chicken Gate real fast. If you guys are just coming on, just watching, Chicken Gate is this whole conspiracy, whole controversial issue where people are accusing Purina Foods for changing the formula, which has severely impacted the egg production of small backyard farmers. Anyone who's getting their food from Tractor Supply and Purina directly have seemed to have been affected. And, they're trying to prove it. They're trying to disprove it, whatever they're trying to do. There is an issue that needs to be addressed. And by bringing it to light and people have opinions about it, we're hopefully being able to bring to light the bigger issues of people not being believed based on what one person is saying. So, like, there has to be open discussions about this stuff. So whatever it is you believe, have at it. Believe what you're going to believe. I'm happy to support you in whatever it is. Do your research. Follow the motives. And be your own little. On a farm here and had a test and it didn't have enough protein. I remember hearing that. And that's the thing is when. So I didn't want to go and say it outright because I had heard a rumor that someone had sent it out and had it tested and it didn't have enough protein, but I personally couldn't find that source. So I didn't want to blast that out there, but there was a change in the chemical components of the food. And the people who supplemented their chickens' diets with other things that had the higher protein didn't see anywhere near as drastic a drop. But for people who are solely relying on that as their food source for their animals, which they tell you to, I didn't have that brand. I have not had. Okay. Yeah. And I didn't feed that brand though. I've not had any problems, and that's the thing too, is that there's too many people saying that they haven't had problems. And then there's a lot of people who say they have had problems. So it's like, either way, there's so many different moving parts to this whole thing. But I know for us personally, we have 5 chickens. We're not a big production thing. We have eggs for our own personal consumption. Our girls have not been laying. We've had to go to the grocery store to go buy eggs because our girls haven't laid anything since September. Guess what we buy? We buy the Tractor Supply food. We added yogurt to their diet, homemade yogurt with extra protein to their diet. And the very next day, we had 5 eggs. So for us to sit there and say that there's no possibility that it's the food when that's the only thing that we changed was the food, it feels like people saying, oh no, that's not possible. It completely discredits our experience. It's like, okay, you guys are allowed to have your opinion. We know our experience. That's okay. But it's something that something major shifted. It wasn't notified, people are putting it out on blast, and people are attacking the people who are saying, hey, something's wrong. I think that's the hardest part of all of this, is that we, as adults, as a community, as a country, should be able to have our own opinions. Have 11 for consumption and sell to others who ask. Yeah. We have to have these discussions, but we also just to say, what, my experience is different than yours, so I can honor that. I will always encourage you, do your research, do what feels right, do what you best for yourself. But we also have to acknowledge that something bigger is going on. And again, coming from former military police, working in investigation, love, drugs, or money, man. Those are the three motives for just about everything that happens in life: love, drugs, or money. Someone asked me a few days ago if that's why all 11 of mine are laying because of the feed. Yeah, that's entirely possible. But there are scientific reasons why they might not. They might be sick. The winter time, we know that they stop laying with the decreased sunlight. If they're going through the molt, there are other scientific reasons. But when nothing else has changed, the girls went through the molt right around the same time that they stopped laying, which made sense to us. We knew winter was coming, so we were expecting a decrease in production. They don't understand molting age and sunlight. Yeah. So the thing is, there's a lot of variables. These are other organisms. These are other lives and creatures who are just as unique as we are. So there's a lot of factors that could play into it. But when it becomes a widespread thing, and there's a lot of people saying, hey, I'm having that experience too, bigger picture should be looked at. So it's definitely a interesting topic. Let's see. I truly believe the feet of certain brands are being messed with, though. And we've had there's been a couple of our little chicken farmers here on TikTok who have really gone in and dove in. And I remember thinking, I can't remember what her name was, something Cassidy. I'm so bad at remembering handles. But she was like, oh, I started in, well, who owns this and who owns this? And it's an entire rabbit hole of the money. Follow the money. And it just, whether it was intentional, whether it was accidental, we're probably never going to know because they won't admit it. I'm going to say something on here, definitely a rabbit hole. But it was, seriously, I wish I had been the one to start doing the digging, because that was my first question. Well, who owns Purina? What stock do they have in this? And it's not to be skeptical, because I love people and I want to always believe the best in people. But when things happen and there's money involved, people change. People view things from different angles. Businessmen are going to be businessmen. And it's something to think about and consider. And, I do find it interesting. We're just going to put this out there, that there was the Chinese spy balloons that have been noticed, acknowledged. We've heard more about a damn balloon than we have anything in the news about this whole chicken fiasco. I wonder why. Just out of curiosity. It's interesting. I just find it very curious to see what the media is covering as far as news. And When I went into the military, I was supposed to go in for journalism. So this is stuff that I know I would have been reporting on, whether it was in writing or anchoring or anything like that. This was stuff that would have been pertinent to me being able to do my job. So for me to sit here and know that as a police officer in the Navy, I was able to see the backside of stories that never made the news, that weren't told. So anything that we get from the news, straight out, I'm probably going to, don't hate me on it, because whatever happens is we're never going to get the full story. They're never story on anything. One, legally, they probably can't. Two, because there is investigations that are going on, they do need to retain certain information to be able to verify. So I totally get it, but it's eye-opening knowing the story of what actually happened versus the stories that are being told, which is why I will always, always, always encourage every single one of you, do your research, go to your trusted news sources, and be open-minded. Be open-minded. That's all. So Chicken Gate, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this up. But what I do know about all of Chicken Gate is that there are really big tie-ins and there are really big stakes that are involved. There are some big companies that are involved. There's a lot of money that is involved. And if we know anything about what happens when money is messed with, people get weird, man. People get weird. But not only are they we messing with, they're messing with our livelihoods and our food. Just throwing that out there. So I didn't mean to get all political, guys. I'm really, this is all about life, love, happiness, joy, self-care. Self-care is knowing what news to watch, what news makes you feel good, and which ones you need to turn off. Do your own research your own news stories, and follow what feels best to you. Okay? Always do that. Now, moving on to our next little segment. So if you are watching on our YouTube channel, Goose and Luna are hanging out and just doing nothing in the kitchen. So I'm here on TikTok. Goose is hanging out in the kitchen. I'm also on Facebook, and we're also broadcasting live on Reel to Reel Broadcasting. I'm taking questions and comments over TikTok, so you are more than welcome to join us there on that platform to get live interactions. We are just hi, Mental Sam. Hello. So the next topic that we're going to talk about, we decided to go into the controversy of Chicken Gate. Thank you guys so much for joining and participating on that. I know that there's a lot to uncover with that, and I will definitely be trying to keep you guys up to date on what and if you guys are interested, I might start diving into it a little bit further. That's the thought. So education, we're gonna dive into some duck education here. So as you guys know, I'm a duck mom. I have 8 ducks. I got 2 inside ducks, 2 little handicapped ducks, Goose and Luna, who are currently sitting in my kitchen if you're watching on the YouTube channel. And if you also know that Luna is part of the other ducks who are our Harry Potter crew. We've got Harry, we've got Hagrid, we've got Ron, Luna, Molly, and Ron. I always forget Ron. Sorry, Ron. Dumbledore. We got Dumbledore out there. There we are. So we've got a whole bunch of our little Harry Potter crew. The 6 of those guys stay outside. Miss Molly, only girl with 5 boys. So we have everyone all segmented off into pairs that will behave themselves. We've got Goose and Luna here inside. They are both handicapped. Luna was injured and has a really hard time walking, and Goose has arthritis in his leg after an injury from a fox attack. And so we've got 2 house ducks and 6 outside ducks. And then we have chickens over at. We know a little bit about ducks. This stuff that we've either had to research or we've experienced firsthand. We are by no stretch of the imagination experts, but we do love sharing what we know. So the things that we do know. We were talking about chicken gate and food and how important certain nutrients and vitamins and everything is to chicken egg production. And the same thing goes for ducks. Ducks require certain nutrients, including calcium and protein, to help them create eggs. So one of the things that we did notice throughout this whole little chicken gate thing is that our females, our two stopped laying hard shell eggs. They were giving us soft shells, and that implied that there's not enough calcium in the food. So we always like to supplement. We usually use oyster shell crumbles, and they love them. They tear them to pieces. So we're very fortunate. We do give them peas. We go through a few bags of peas a week, like the 2-3 pound bags. Yeah, lots of peas for years. Ducks love peas. Ducks love peas, and they're nutrients that they adore. So it's good. They love fruits. They love veggies. Ours don't like watermelon for whatever reason. Funny story time. We had a watermelon that was getting ready to start going bad. So I'm like, you know what? We're not going to eat this. Let's put this outside for the ducks. And I put it outside for the ducks. And I checked on our baby monitors. So we've got 2 baby monitors to keep an eye on the ducks outside. Dude, I thought it was overnight. And I thought I was looking at dead ducks. I don't think I have flown out of bed any faster than I did that evening. Oh my God, we got dead ducks. And I'm running out. It was a watermelon. It was a watermelon. Yeah. So I put my heart back in my chest and understood that our ducks don't like watermelon. They're weird. So no more remaining watermelon carcasses go outside. But they do love peas, and they do, the girls like the oyster shells. You're not supposed to give oyster shells to the males because they don't. I don't know you. Turn off invites for this live. Nope. You're not being invited, dude. Sorry. So if you guys do want to go live with me, if you're someone that I know who already is a friend, I am very happy to have you jump on. That would be really cool. But I am not taking unsolicited invites from people I'm not friends with. So if you guys are on here and you want to join the podcast live, that would be really cool. We'd love to have you on. So, but what we're doing is right now we're going over what the ducks need to live healthy lives. So they have to have water. They always have to have enough water to cover their nose, like dunk their faces in, and it always needs to be fresh. I remember hearing one time, and this was absolutely a beautiful sentiment, that animals need, the health of the animal is dependent on the health of the water that they're drinking, on the cleanliness of the water that they're drinking. So you always want to make sure that your animal has clean, fresh water. That's how they're going to be the healthiest. But ducks don't need to, I found this very interesting. When we were doing our research, ducks do not need water women. They don't. It's good for them because that it exercises their little legs, but they do not need water to live a fulfilling life, but they really enjoy it. So I definitely recommend making sure that if you do have a duck, you have a little pond or a pool or have a little tub that you can put them in and let them swim and bathe and clean a little bit. They can clean themselves out of water buckets. That would be fine too. But duck, it's interesting. I never realized how clean ducks actually are. They are gross and they're poop cannons. We'll go into a minute because if you know anything about ducks, it's poop. But when they clean themselves, They do. I watch them for hours. Honestly, I could watch ducks for hours. They stretch their neck and they rub their head all over their back and they clean their bellies. And like just the way that they move is just very interesting and it's fluid and it's graceful and it's unabashed. It's like unashamed cleaning and preening and it's beautiful to watch. It's almost therapeutic. Like if I could have a video of Goose and Luna just cleaning themselves for an hour, I would probably do it. If you guys want that, let me know. I might do that for you. Yeah, that's something that it's beautiful to be able to see an animal like or someone else like not caring what you think, not caring what you feel, because I want to feel good. I want to feel good about myself. I want to feel clean. I want to feel fresh. I want to feel healthy. And that's one of the things that I love to try to teach our people in our boot camp is how you can take that mindset and incorporate that into your day-to-day to be able to move and love yourself enough to do at least a small thing for yourself throughout the day. But if you guys are watching the YouTube video, you get to see Miss Molly. Miss Luna is showing us her butt. So as you guys know, Miss Luna is inside with us due to a leg injury. So she does have a hard time hobbling around. We are accepting donations to build her a wheelchair, a handicap wheelchair. So that way she can strengthen that leg a little bit more. And she's hopped off screen. So she does get around and she is getting better. But the wheelchair will give her a little bit of extra time outside of the bathtub to be able to move that leg and get that leg moving a little bit better. She's already been showing a ton of progress. Hi, Gooses. Hi, Goose. And camera. All right. So as I said, if you guys wanted to see Goose, you definitely should go to the YouTube channel. But I love having you guys here on TikTok because that's where I'm getting all my questions from. We just weren't able to share them both onto the screen here, unfortunately. So yeah, we're going to try to figure out how to do that next time, is to be able to share Goose on here. So taking care of yourself is so important. That includes your diet and your own health and wellness. You know that you're doing everything you can to take care of yourself physically and mentally, but a major role is your physical health. How many of us wake up feeling like absolute crap because we probably didn't drink enough water the day before? I've done it plenty of times. You know, how much water are you drinking? Are you drinking enough water? Are you even drinking water at all? Some people don't. I've known plenty of people who just drink Diet Cokes all day and they do fine. But if you drink a little bit of water, you might even feel better. That's something. You know, we want to make sure that we're getting our proper nutrients. Ducks, just like ducks, we are in charge of feeding our animals. We are also in charge of feeding ourselves. Are you eating as well as your animals? And if the answer is no, I would like for you to drop that in the comments, because if you are not eating as well as your animals, I have something for you. Okay. So I'd love to be able to connect with you and just give you a little bit of information on something. Okay. Health and wellness membership that I think you guys would do well with. So we also, I want to take a few moments to acknowledge our sponsors. We've kind of been on a steamroll today, and I've been diving into all these topics in the high day. I do want to acknowledge our sponsors. So we are being sponsored by Apex Pheromone. That is a male pheromone company. And what they do is they combine the chemicals that our bodies are made out of and put them into a bottle to enhance the male aroma, so to speak. It would be a perfect gift for the man in your life for Valentine's Day. So if you go to apexpheromone.com and check out their website, they've got a whole bunch of different scents. core thing that is actually really good for nurturing your relationship, because what it does is it enhances the different chemical components, the different pheromone components of who he is, and then it brings out his appeal and his desire to connect with you on a different level. It's really cool. There's a whole huge page, an informational page on the science behind it. So apexpheromone.com, go and check them out for the in your life for Valentine's Day. You won't regret it, I promise. So that is our first sponsor, and I will talk to you about our VA people in just a few moments. So as we are ready to roll into our next topic, one of the things that I do like to share with you guys, we were talking about ducks and dieting and food and all that stuff. I think I saved this on my. I find it very interesting that the one is tell you about ducks. They've gotten better. If you go into the forums now, they will tell you now. The one thing you do need to know about ducks is all the poop. So much poop. Oh my God, all the poop. And there's all different kinds. So if you do not want to know anything about duck poop, don't listen to this next little segment. You can turn it down or whatever, but duck poop is ridiculous. How long does... So that I found interesting. I can't remember the answer off the top of my head, which is why I want to go. How long does it take for a duck to poop? So are you ready for this? On average, a duck will poop every 15 minutes. So you might get half hour, you might get 20 minutes, but a duck will poop, if only he will poop 15 minutes. True story. I want to say it takes about 4 hours to eat and then poop it out, because I fed Goose some blueberries earlier today, and it took about 4 hours for it to work through his system. What they eat changes the consistency. It changes. So there's all kinds of, and they poop differently too. So they have a very fast GI system. So we're going to go into TMI on this, and I'm going to educate you guys on this because it's something I kind of wish I knew a little bit more about before we dove into them. But they don't have separate body parts to excrete from. So when they are pooping and they are peeing, they are going from the same body part. And so there are watery poops, which are mostly urine. And then there are solid poops that are mostly food. So there are times where you don't know what you're going to get. So anytime you hear a noise, you're like, oh God, okay. All right. What are we in for? What are we in for? Good. The girls, I don't know what, but they yeah. So if you do ever get ducks, just be ready for the poop cannons. So I don't ever want anyone to be shocked by that. That will never, ever, ever be a surprise. So it's very important. So, and just like people, there are some times where our bellies get upset. So make sure if you're seeing any changes in your body systems, your body structure, your body anything, make sure you're getting it checked out. Okay. I want you guys to do me that favor. That is one of the things that I know from ducks. Humans, when there is a massive change in the way your body usually works and usually functions, it needs to be checked out. Whether you need to go to the doctor and get medicine, whether you need to change your diet, it's always good to make sure that if you personally find anything wrong or iffy, go get it checked out. Okay. Don't hold off on that, because otherwise you're going to sit there and you're going to worry and you're not going to know. And that's even worse. All right. So let's go ahead. I was going to do commercials, but the commercials that I have were not the ones that I meant to save. So I am going to. I am getting all kinds of notifications here. Okay. Let me get fast and see some music to play while I run and take a quick break. We're getting ready to do this. What questions do you guys have so far? I know that there's been a lot of information that I've thrown out there and that I've covered. We've talked about Gate. We've talked about, understanding the importance of doing your research. We talked about understanding a little bit of differences in our bodies. What here on about the ducks? We'll be going into some of the new projects that we have coming up. So I'm really excited to talk to you guys about those. We are also, going to covering what it looks like to be kind on social media. It's very important for us to know and cover that topic because it seems like people are forgetting. And I want to make sure that we are doing everything that we can to make sure that everyone themselves. I don't know what this is, Adrian. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, you get to see Goose cleaning himself in high definition. All right. Play. All right, friends, we're gonna play a commercial just for a few moments, and I will be right back. Okay, so that music didn't go anywhere near as smoothly as I was really expecting or hoping. So my apologies on that, my friends. But I'm topped off on my coffee. I hope you are too, because we've got more to talk about, and we're gonna be going on some of this. So I am very curious to know what you guys have heard. Let me go here. Going on social media lately. I'm coming across, and it could just be my algorithm. It could just be my my computer system letting me know that, hey, you're paying attention to this. There are a lot of people who are getting really nasty messages on their Facebook pages, their Instagram, their TikTok. And it's interesting because one, I've been very, very fortunate that I've never had anyone come on and be nasty. And maybe I'm just not big time troll worthy, which is kind of cool. But at the same time, I've been seeing a lot of people in my loop who are responding to this kind of stuff. And I think that it's important that we acknowledge that there is a huge issue. Granted, everyone has different opinions. Everyone is entitled to have a different opinion. You are not entitled to be an asshole about it. You are not entitled to be mean. You are not entitled to come on and just completely discredit someone. It doesn't take much to be a nice person. Now, there are times where maybe the way that the message was written could be misconstrued. I've seen that a lot, where I've read a message and have been like, I don't think that they meant it that way. That's not what I'm taking from it. And I think a lot of times we're feeling attacked, we're feeling vulnerable. As content creators, we feel very vulnerable. And I think there are a lot of people who are well-meaning, and maybe they're asking a question, maybe their grammar isn't so good, or I could just be giving people the benefit of the doubt, which is entirely possible as well. But I think the most important thing for us to remember is that on the other side of our comments and the other side of these videos are people. They're normal, regular, everyday people who have thoughts and opinions and feelings, and whether they are different or the same as yours. There is nothing more heartbreaking than seeing someone who is busting their butt to bring you happiness in tears because someone is mean and unnecessarily nasty. And it's hard when all you want to do is reach the screen and hug them. And you can't, because that one nasty comment is all that they're going to be thinking about for the next 2 weeks. And it doesn't matter what you say. I remember when I was working my first retail management job, and we would get surveys every week. And my trainer sat down and said, so each week or every day you're come on here, you're going to check the surveys and see what you're getting. And for every one negative comment, it's going to take 10 to get us back to where we need to be. So if you're being rated on a scale of 1 to 10, which is what we were, we get a 1-star review, or we get a 1 star because we had someone have a bad experience at the store. It would take 10-star comment to us back up to that top scale. And that's the same thing as what we're experiencing here on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram. That one comment for every 100 I love your content comments that we get, that one nasty comment is going to be the one that sticks with us. And I want us to just do better as people altogether. I keep hearing that term, do better. You need to do better. And it's like, no, you need to quit being a dick is what has to happen. You being a dick. And there's no reason for anyone to be unkind. See someone doing something you disagree with, you have every opportunity to say, hey, that's not how I would do it. This is what I can suggest. Or would you like advice on the matter? Would you like to know what I would do instead? And give them the opportunity to share and open up that discussion with you. There's nothing wrong with having a discussion, but for telling people that they are wrong when you don't understand what went into that they're making, you're being the judgmental asshole. And that's uncalled for. It's really uncalled for. And it's heartbreaking because being an adult, being a human is hard enough without people being jerks. So I recently came across a profile of a young man who started doing a positivity train. And I haven't hopped on in the last week or so, but it has been so much freaking fun. and being able to pop onto people's pages and say hello and be able to spread love and cheer and, hey, I see you. Hey, you're doing a great job. Hey, you're beautiful. Hey, I love your message. Keep it up. Giving people encouragement instead of breaking them down that can be life-changing. You have no idea what people are going through. There are so many of us who keep parts of our lives quiet, not only just for privacy's sake, but because there is no need for us to have to share every single thing on Facebook. You don't know us. You know our videos. You know Goose. You know a little bit about us, but we show you what we want you to see. And that's everyone on this, and I love, and I always do my best to come from an angle of transparency. This is what I am. This is what I look like. This is what we do. My house is a mess. I don't wear makeup. This is who we are. And we're proud to do that. And I love seeing people who do that. Be who you are. You're allowed to do that. And when you honor other people being who they are, you're going to get that back too. And if you are the kind of person who is mean and nasty and judgmental, you need to find a group of people who are mean and nasty and judgmental to be with them, because there are so many good people here who deserve to be loved, who deserve to be cherished. And that's why we do this whole little Coffee with Christine chat, is I want to share what I know with you guys, but I also want to make sure that you also know when you are here, you are loved. When you are here, I'm here to help you. When you are here, I am doing everything I can to put a smile on your face. Goose is here to put a smile on your face. And we are doing the best that we can as human beings. We don't always have the answers, and our answers aren't always going to be ones either you want to hear or are going to fit your lifestyle. That's okay. You can take what we have to say or you can leave it. It doesn't matter to us. We're here to inspire you the best that we can. That's it. So when you on social media, be aware of how your message, if you're writing in someone's comment, how it can be construed, because I can guarantee you a lot of messages that people are getting upset about on their Facebook page are the people whose messages might be getting misconstrued. There are a few times where I've been reading, like, I don't know if they meant that way. Again, I like to give people the benefit of the doubt, but not all people are mean. So make sure that when you are leaving messages that you're very clear. Make sure that you're doing everything you can to honor the person's decision and to honor them, and do what you can to just be a decent human being. Show love. If you go on a podcast or you go on a website or you go somewhere, make sure that you are showing them love. The people who I almost always, I put a heart or a comment or something on just about everyone who we scroll past, because you took time out of your day to put that and share that with us. And I'm okay with that. I want to show support and love for you. So if you can do the same, make sure you do. Everyone needs a little bit of love. Everyone needs a little bit of encouragement. And the world would be a lot better of a place if that's what we started doing a little bit more. Okay? So be a decent human being. Don't be a butthead in people's comments. And if you see someone being a butthead in someone's comments, maybe we can start taking our time to clarify what they mean. Thank you. Herb Garden Fairy Grandma, thank you so much for watching. I love your content. I love the little wings and oh my God, you are amazing. I love you. So we are, we're people and we're doing the best that we can. So thank you guys so much for joining us. If you are new and you're just popping on and watching, because we do have some new people coming on TikTok, we are also broadcasting live on YouTube, on Facebook. Goose part of the picture on YouTube, but it looks like he either disconnected or died. So you guys are just getting me for the time being. Goose is just sitting down being lazy. He's such a little lazy bum in the evenings. So, but we are here, and just sharing what we know, sharing love and insight, and discussing things that matter to us and might matter to you. And if you guys like what we're doing, make sure you're following us. Like our podcast, like the YouTube. You guys can find all the links in the link at the bio. It's christinede.com. So, we have covered. So some of the information that we covered earlier in today's podcast has been self-care like a duck. LaDonna had asked a really great question as far as, what do you do if you want to go out and meet people? And the tip of the day is to challenge yourself just a little bit more. Push yourself just a little bit outside your comfort zone where you can be proud of yourself. So the other topic was Chicken Gate. If you have chickens, we covered the whole food fiasco. I encourage you guys to do your research. When it comes down to doing research, just keep in mind, keep in the back of your head, there are 3 motives for why people do things: love, drugs, or money. Keep that in the back of your head as you're researching. That's all. Spoken as a military police officer. I worked with investigations, harbor patrol. It wasn't a very long stint. I did 5 years in the Navy. So it's one of those where my experience has led me to the conclusion, do your research. Then, so we talked about Chicken Gate, do your research. And we talked about ducks, why it's important for ducks to have certain types of food, a certain diet of worms. And did you know ducks eat frogs? I forgot to add this little random tidbit. There was a post I remember a while ago. We were reading I was watching a post, and a lady was getting upset with one of the content creators out. Oh, she was getting upset with the lady who made the video because they had given their duck a full grape. And the lady who made the video started laughing, and she's like, "Oh, if you think giving him a whole grape is going to stop this guy from eating a grape, if you think he's going to choke on that, just wait till you see this." And she showed a video of one of her ducks choking down an entire frog, like ate the entire frog whole, just like swooped it up and swallowed it. And I just remember thinking, it's like, okay, these critters are a little less defenseless than what we think they are. Okay. So it's one of those where the kindness on social media comes back in, where, you can sit there and you can make judgments on people. And you know what? I know plenty of people who've had animals who might have choked on their food. And, so they're coming from a different place. And the person who watched her duck eat an entire frog. At the same time, it's just, we have to honor people's experiences. And I think that that's so invaluable to be able to just see bigger pictures on things. So keep in mind, as we're growing as content creators, we're probably going to encounter those really weird, nasty people. Keep it in mind, you know what, that they might not have meant what they said. Ask them to clarify. And if they're being jerks, block and move on. And just remember, for every one nasty comment, there are 100 gorgeous comments coming in to let you know how special you are. So there's that. Now, moving my cushion. So we talked about duck poop. That was fun because, ducks equal poop. That's cool. So then what we're going about briefly now is food for humans, how important it is to be drinking water, how important it is to eat our fruits and veggies, and make sure we're getting all our carbs and proteins. I'm not going to beat it into a pulp because I have one of my friends who is a fitness coach, and she does a lot of mindset work when it comes to all this. So she's a specialist in this. We all know what we should be doing. The question is, are we actually doing it? If the answer is no, I have a special accountability group that I'm building. And if you guys want to join in and want to set a small goal and want to start building a community of people who want to help you achieve your goal, I would love to have you guys join us. Just go to the link in the bio, christinede.com, and just the first pop-up that comes up, plug in your email address and you'll get the link to the accountability group. Literally just started it, so you would probably be like the first person to sign up. So there's that, and we're going to try to build that community and just try to spread love and accountability and awareness and encouragement. Now, comments on social media. We talked about trolls. We talked about replying to them, how we can use it as educational moments, right? People are super, super nice. Some people are super butt heads because they don't have anything else to do. Those are usually the people who you want to take a step back and be like, okay, well, either this is a fake account or this person is really miserable. And if they are really miserable, let them go with love. You know what? Thanks for being part of my day. I'm going to move on. Okay. There is also always the possibility that when we are doing text messages or written messages, that there is the possibility of being misconstrued. So always keep that in mind as well. Ask them to clarify if you aren't sure what they mean. Okay. And then spread kindness. There is, I was mentioning this a few minutes ago, but my attention deficit kicked in. The positivity train. And I thought that this was such a great idea. I would love to do something like this. I'm just not organized enough to do it. JT Thirsties, J something. I'll probably repost one of his videos soon, but he is the positivity train conductor and Captain JT or whatever. And thank you so much, Herb Garden Fairy. I really appreciate. What is your name, my dear? Because I don't want to just call you the Herb Garden Fairy. If you just drop your name in there, that would be perfect. I'm excited. I think we're all here to just live and be happy and share this and do all kinds. Keo? Is that how I say it? Keo? I love it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we are, I don't know if anyone would want to start doing a positivity train thing. What they do is they pick lives to go on. We just bombard them with love and all right, great to see you. Have a great day. I'll move on to the next one who might need a little bit of love. I think that would be okay. Thank you so much. I think that would be fun. Doing positivity train. So if you guys see those, make sure you're jumping and spreading love. Or if you have a favorite creator, reach out to them and spend time reading and listening and watching all their content and really allow yourself, one, to get to know them, and two, acknowledge them as a good creator. They don't need any criticism. They don't need any like, hey, you could do better by this. I love what you're doing. I love hearing what you're doing. No, sorry, excuse me. Or keep it up. You're amazing. Encourage people. It doesn't take a lot of effort to just be encouraging and loving and happy towards people. So be a good person. It's not hard. I promise. It's really not hard. And then the people who are mean, you can go be mean, just not here. It's cool. All right. So we have some upcoming adventures going on. So we're working on getting podcast guests. If you are an expert in health and wellness, animals, anything that you can contribute to mental health and self-care awareness, I would love to have you guys on. We're here to spread awareness and information. We're here to help you build the lifestyle that you want to have, whether it's being sane, whether it's being inclusive, however you want to live your life, and you have information that you know is going to help others, especially in the area of self-care and mental health. Let's talk. I do have there should be a link on my page somewhere where you can book a consultation with me or an interview for a podcast. I would love to have everyone who's interested coming on. We're conducting interviews for that. We do have a couple other little things in the works that we're still trying to get some things clarified. But if we do end up doing a podcast interview, you guys would be privy to that information. So we go live here on Reel to Reel Broadcasting every Saturday, 4:00 Eastern Standard Time. During the week, Goose and I do live. So 9:00 in the morning, we do Coffee with Christine and Goose again during the day. And that's just us coming on and we're doing morning chores. We're getting to know you guys. You guys are coming on and you're watching our shit show of a morning, essentially, is what's happening. So we're enjoying very much sharing that part of our lives, because what we're doing is we're showing you that as mentors, we don't have it all together, but this is what we're doing every day to aim for what we want in our lives. And we want to do the same for you. We want to inspire you. We want to help you. And, we might not have all the answers, but we do have a lot of experience and a lot of advice that might be able to help. So that's what we're here to do. So one of our upcoming adventures, I'm really excited about this because for those of you who don't know, Goose and I are UFC junkies. Ever since Goose was little, he would sit and watch UFC fights with us. So for the love and peace and kindness warrior that I am, there is just something primal that I really, for whatever reason, enjoy. Grown men and women pummel the snot out of each other in UFC. Why? I don't know. There's something just very raw is what it is. There's something very raw about able to that's in the ring to decent person outside the ring. Like watching these people shift their mindset, focus so intently, train for months and months at a time on being damaging. And these guys, like they don't walk out on the streets wanting to fight, but they are lethal in the ring. It's a raw power that is, for lack of a better descriptive word, it's majestic. It's incredible, and it's awe-inspiring that not only do they have the control over their bodies, but over their minds as well. And watching fighters over their careers has been very interesting. Watching the highs, watching the lows, understanding the inward and outward work that's going on and going into their careers has been very intriguing. So one of the things that I did today was, and some of you guys have seen this on our page, we posted a video to the Count, Michael Bisping, who has his own podcast with Lionheart, and I've been binging on them recently for a couple of reasons. One, because I love UFC. Two, because I've been trying to do research and figure out better ways to run my podcast, better ways to manage my time, and be able to share what kind of information people are looking for and interested in, and being able to get my message across, but also get you guys engaged as well in some of these conversations. So I've been watching multiple podcasts, including Joe Rogan, other people, just so that way I can see how people create and manage their broadcasts. And I got hooked on Bisping's podcast because it's fun. They do such a great job, and they do like trivia and all this kind of stuff. So I'm definitely considering bringing on a multitude of people to do that kind of stuff with. So I would love to have you guys sign up. If you go to christinede.com, you should be able to register to become a guest on the podcast. I'd love to chat with you guys. We can do consultation and just chit chat. There's a free 15-minute coffee chat. If you guys want a coaching session, you guys can register for one of those too. So, we can talk however you need to talk, but I would love to have people come on to the show and interact and really be able to have fun and enjoy this. But one of the things that I did, I sent in a video, and the video that I posted to the page is the one that I sent in. And so it's asking their advice. I'm coming as a woman who focuses on love and light and inner work and stuff. And these guys are monsters. Like this guy, Bisping, has been the world middle heavyweight champion of the world. So he was like one of the most lethal guys to ever come across with. And the thing that has really intrigued me is that when in one of his fights, he ended up losing his eye, ended up continuing to fight anyway. Like he continued his career with one eye. And he's retired now, and he does the commentary for the UFC fights now. But what we did was we posted I put a video of Goose and I, and we submitted that to their broadcast to see if maybe they answer. So I have Goose in the video with me. So if you guys want to share that and tag them in it, or share it with people that you know who also like UFC, we might be able to get them to answer our question as far as men handle challenges. How do they handle challenges as compared to what we do? I'd like to get the insight from someone who has been a champion, who has done the unthinkable and really pushed themselves not only to a physical limit but a mental limit as well. And I would love to have them answer, so that would be really cool. So one of the things that we did was we submitted a video for them to answer. So if and when we ever do get an answer on that, I will definitely be posting it here on the Coffee with Christine and Goose show, because that's going to be some really good information coming from someone who has incredible training faculties and standards and awareness as far as what it takes to overcome mental and physical challenges. So I think having that insight would be really cool. I'm excited about that. So that's one of our upcoming adventures. Goose and I are also hosting our boot camp. We kicked off our boot camp. It's Self-Care for Humans. It's a 6-week boot camp. We've got all kinds of really good information and building. Part of it is the accountability group that I know Keo signed up for. So we definitely appreciate you being in there and being one of the founders of our little community. If you want to come on, and we're just what we're going to be doing is we're going to pick a goal, and we're going to encourage each other to maintain that goal. And we've got I have a tracker that we keep track on. And if we see someone struggling on that tracker, so everyone's going to pick a goal, and you're just going to mark in live time if you did that goal for the day or not. And if we see that you're missing that, then we just acknowledge that and we encourage you to do the thing. And that way we can build a community, build you up in your goal setting, and help inspire you and keep you going on your goals, your specific goals. And nothing crazy, it's like drink an extra cup of water a day, just the small thing that is going to help you get better and be better. So boot camp is part of that. I am also doing consulting. So I do some business consulting and freelancing. Right now I'm working on a commercial company. I am also working on email campaigns. We're doing campaign. We're doing all kinds of brainstorming as far as that goes. I do workbook, website, digital download. I can even write a book for you if you wanted to pay me to do that. I'm happy to do that. I love writing. So I'm doing freelancing stuff and business consulting. I'm here to help you guys brainstorm. If you guys have a business idea that you're not sure about, or you want to do anything creative having to do with it, let me know. We'll talk about setting up a consult. I'm really good at being creative. It's fun. I live for it. So, and then, as I said, each day we're doing our coffee chat. So we're doing morning chores, and we're doing all kinds of, you guys are just joining us for the morning. answering questions, getting to know Goose and I. You get to see the mess that our house is on a daily level. Just all kinds of fun stuff. Us living. You get to join us living. So we do that 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time every morning, except for tomorrow. I have a consultation tomorrow, so we'll probably be starting around 10. Then we are also... Now, one of the things that I do like to do is, as we're getting ready to wrap up for the day, as some of you do know, I love doing tarot card readings, energy readings. I love to focus on energy work and energy healing stuff. So I do like to incorporate that into my courses, into my podcast. And I always just like to take a different perspective. So we started the podcast today with the mindset of generosity. What do we have to give of ourselves, of our resources? What do we have to give to others? What do we have to share with others? We're here to share our knowledge. We're here to shed. We're here to shed. We're here to spread our compassion and our desire to understand and our desire to connect with people. So that is what we are here to do, what we enjoy. We live to connect. We live to unite. However, I'm very introverted, so it's a little bit of an inner conflict with all that. I love talking to people. So if you guys want to get on a consult for any reason, whether it's to talk, whether you want to be a guest on the podcast, there's a link on my website in my bio. You'll be able to set up a consultation on my calendar, and we'll chat. I'm always happy to chat and discuss what you guys need, whether you want to be a guest. I would love to have you guys as guests. We are also looking for sponsors. Speaking of sponsors, we have 2 sponsors that I do want to give a shout out today. So we spoke about Apex Pheromone, that is a male pheromone cologne, perfect for the man in your life for Valentine's Day. We also have A+ Assistants. Kim and her crew get together. They do all the administrative stuff. So they will take care of your emails. They will take care of your website. They will take care of your SEO. So your social and search engine optimization. I had to think about that. They will take care of all the administrative stuff that you're ready to let go of, so you can free up your time for the things that are important to you, whether you're doing coaching, whether you're running a business. They'll take care of all the administrative needs that you need from them. apassistance.com. And also wanting to thank Grateful Acres in Delaware for their ability and their kindness to sponsor us as well. We are so happy to be able to partner with them. Allie does a really great job of opening up her farm for educational purposes and learning purposes for people of all ages and abilities. And she's such a kind and beautiful and compassionate person. And we're so excited to be able to partner with her and have her as one of our sponsors. So we are happy to combine animals and love and mental health and awareness and bring it to you guys in a format that you can watch on TikTok, you can watch here on YouTube, you can listen over reel-to-reel broadcasting, or you can enjoy as a download. We're working on getting everything downloadable, so that way you guys can hit as you will. So we've got all that going on. Now, last but not least, so today we're going to wrap up our podcast with the 9 of Wands. 9 of Wands right now is uncertainty. We're facing uncertainty. We're on the verge of something. We're getting ready to take a next step into something big. We're almost there. We're looking through the forest. We can almost see through the trees. There's something just beyond the line of the forest. Okay? But we're not sure. And that's okay, because the best part about life sometimes is not knowing what is coming, is not knowing what the next step brings, not knowing what that next step means, and being able to look back on it at a later time you're able to decipher what that step of your journey meant to you. And I love being able to do that. So as we close out this podcast for this week, just keep in mind that any uncertainty that is going to come into your life over the next week, you're going to be able to face it. You're going to be able to overcome it, and you're going to be doing it just like a fighter. You're going to be doing it just like Goose. Goose struggled to overcome his fox attack when he was 4 months old, and he has been living the most pampered life you've ever lived as a duck. What a poop. We all have battles. We all have struggles. We all have moments in time where we wish things were different. We wish we were different. But I'm here to tell you, you're perfect just the way you are. You are. It's okay to want to be better. It's okay to want to be just a little bit different. But when you love yourself now in the moment, when you are able to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, you know what? Today was good. Today I know what my purpose was. Today I knew what my passion is. And tomorrow it's going to get even better. When you can do that, when you can say that, and you can close out your day knowing you lived your best life, knowing that you lived your purpose and you lived your passion, that's a life worth living. That's a life with meaning. And if you're struggling with that right now, that's okay too. Life isn't meant to be easy. Life isn't meant to just be peaches and unicorn poop. It's there are times where it's watery duck poop. Okay. But we get through it. You do what you can and you get through it. And if you need extra help to get through it, that's okay. That's what I'm here for. I will always encourage you to seek licensed professional help, especially if you know you need it. Trust your gut, trust your instinct. You know what's right for you. You know what you're capable of, but you also know that you have to break free just a little bit from that comfort level, from that comfort zone. And I have to remind myself that every day. So I want you to take that quote that I had shared with you guys earlier, because I found it very, very profound. Every single day, push yourself to the breaking point. Push yourself to the mental and physical breaking point. Push yourself out of your comfort level. Because what you be doing every single day by doing that is building your muscle for greatness. Whether it's your physical muscles or your mental muscles or your emotional muscles. Push them just a little bit further. Push yourself to be better. Not because you need to be perfect, not because you have to be different. Push yourself to be just a little bit better than you were yesterday, because you know you can be better. Because you know you can, because you know you are here for a reason. And if you're struggling to find that reason, if you're struggling finding that hope, I want you to reach out to me. You can DM me either through Facebook, through TikTok, message me at any point, and we'll talk. I might not have all the answers for you, but I will do everything I can to connect you with resources that can. You are not alone. You are not in this struggle by yourself. You are surrounded by people who want to hear your story. You are surrounded by people who care. And you are so important. And you are so loved and you are so cherished. And if there's nothing else that you take away from this podcast today, just know that you are meant to be here right now, listening to this. There is so much love and appreciation and compassion here for you. And I hope that you go, and I hope that you live and you choose to live every day with complete love and passion. And again, if you're struggling with that, that's okay. Reach out to me, to someone, anyone. We'll be here. That's what we do. That's what we're here for. Goose is calling for, so we're going to get going, and I'm going to give him dinner. I'm going to feed myself. We're going to go watch some UFC tonight. Make sure you guys are liking, loving, and sharing. And go live today with the utmost of passion. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Love you. All right. So I turned off the broadcast live on the Reel to Reel. So we are off air live on the Broadcasting Network. I am getting ready to wrap up the live on Facebook. You guys hang around. It's here on TikTok. I'm cool with that. Thank you so much for watching on YouTube, Facebook. Have a good night. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. You guys are the best.